Rebecca. You are Alex. Hi. Little sound check. Okay, sure. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. There be the I am a stand for joy. Let there be love, peace, love, joy. Making a new world now.
Good morning, everybody. So good to have everybody here at the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Jay Lang, the spiritual director here. It is so good to have everybody online as well. We welcome you here on this weekend of Bottle Rock. It's kind of a fun day. We don't hear any noise kicking up yet, but I'm sure by noon they'll be starting up today. And I know I've been around downtown a little bit, but actually trying to stay away as much as possible because it's pretty darn busy down here. Every little parking place is taken. So I'm so glad we're able to meet this morning when it's a little cooler and plenty of parking available for us this morning. So glad you joined us. We like to kick each morning off with some music, and Rebecca Edwards is here to open us up. Join us in some singing.
Please join me this morning with Let There Be Peace, kind of a familiar song. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
Yay. Thank you so much, Rebecca. A beautiful way to start this morning. So good to have everybody here this morning, just being present. And in a way, we're broadcasting our music out to the neighborhood just like Bottle Rock does. So good to have everybody here today doing that. We'd like to begin our services with our vision and mission statement. We actually have a monitor up here. It may be hard to see in the sun, but you probably know the vision statement by now anyway. So join with me in saying, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A glorious way to start today. Before we get into the sacred part of our service and our message today, I just want to let you know a few announcements. I think this is a time that we've had several losses in our community, and we've delayed the memorial services. So I want to let you know the two important people in our community we're having services for this week, and all are invited. The first one is for Jeannie Norbert, and that's on June 3rd at 10 a.m. right here in our sanctuary. All are, like I said, all are invited to come. If you knew her or have friends that knew her, you're welcome to come. That's Jan. I'll send all these out online as well, so you'll have them in front of you. And there's also going to be a virtual link. If you decide to watch it virtually, you're welcome to do that on YouTube. And then the next day, on June 4th, Saturday at 2 p.m., we're having the celebration of life for Gary Stamper, also an important member of our community we had here. And the same thing, we'll be doing it here in the sanctuary. We'll have the celebration of life, but we'll also have a virtual link. And I'll send those out today to let you know what those links are if you want to just view them from online. We would appreciate your attendance of one or both of these, because your attendance really lets the family know how much they meant to you. So we appreciate it. And we can also tell the family about the number of people that we have viewing them online as well. The other thing I wanted to let you know about is June 28th, we're having a concert right here in the courtyard. We're delaying it till at 5:30 because we want it to be into the evening, into the late afternoon when it's cooler. We're going to have, you can bring picnic or refreshment, whatever you choose to do, to enjoy Karen Drucker, who will be up here on stage. And what'll be fun is, I don't know about you, but every time I hear Karen, I'm excited to hear her, but there doesn't seem to be enough of her songs. And like most musicians, she can hook her songs together to create a concert. So we're excited about that, and please join us for that. And you'll hear more about reserving your place there next week. And then July 30th, that's well into the future, but I think you'll be hearing from Karen Reed soon that for Crush MS, because this community is one of our big community service projects of the year that we volunteer for that. So we basically are most of the staff for putting that on, and it's an event that'll have between 2 to 350 people there. So depending on, it's been not, originally it was around 400 people, but we don't know if that'll come back to rise up after a pandemic or it'll slowly come up. But they need a lot of volunteers to run that event, so we appreciate you being a part of that. So put that on your calendar and either plan to volunteer or attend that event. And then we have weekly events going on. Our meditation on Wednesday, important to tell you, we've moved it to 6 p.m. People just wanted it a little bit later. And we're going to start right at 6 with the meditation. If you want to come early to meet people or to get an introduction to meditation, you're welcome to do that. But we're starting the meditation right at 6 p.m. Sunday Dharma Recovery is tonight at 5:30 every Sunday. Course in Miracles is virtual right now. You can contact Michael Coleman around it or about it, or look on our website. And then we have the Spanish-speaking meditations on Wednesday, as well as the services on the second and fourth Sunday. So a lot to keep us going into the summer, and there's so many activities coming and going. We appreciate you being a part of this community today and always. So now we'll begin the contemplative part of our service with a little music.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is remembering that as there is only love, staying in that space. I invite you to close your eyes as we remember and commemorate the 22 individual lights in Texas that moved into the one consciousness. We recognize those lights of being and beingness and commemorate them with the sounding of a gong 22 times. And just as that sound moves out into the universe, we remember that energy never stops. That light never stops.
It moves on to the next expression, just like sound, just like light, waves. And recognizing these bright lights, recognizing that this oneness that we always speak of is the oneness where we come from and move to, and where we always are, even when we are in these bodies and these forms. That there really is no going anywhere, but just more of a recognition of this oneness. And even in the sadness that is a natural part of an event such as this, we just remember that there is only love. There is only love. There is only love. And remembering this today, I just claim and proclaim for each one of us that we take this time to go deeper, to remember that love always present in every moment. And so I give great thanksgiving for this time to remember that, to be together, to draw together, and to have all the feeling and revealing that is necessary for a time such as this. And I know that the law takes this word and moves it out into the one consciousness to be made manifest. And I invite you to say with me, and so it is. Thank you, Rebecca. So here's the thing about beingness, is we get to have it all, right? We get to have this deep sadness and also great joy and everything in between. And so since today we're talking about being, how do you be a spiritual rock star? I wore my rock star pants. And just like remembering that all of the people that participated, assisted, that always show up in events of difficulty, don't have to wear a cape to be a hero, right? We can be a hero in any moment. We don't have to wear leather or fake leather pants to be a spiritual rock star in any moment either. That just takes being very present to that love that goes beyond what some people might think is reasonable or logical. That love that is always present deep in the center of us, that we just call upon it to be that expression. Sometimes people have those moments that they don't even know where the words came from. They don't even imagine showing up in the way that they do. Like, even when people show up as heroes, and they weren't going that day to be a hero, and that can happen in a grocery store or at a fire or at, just in your car. And one of the things that I've always loved is the idea of sitting and loving people silently. Reverend Edward used to talk about that, sitting and just watching people and saying, I love you. And I used to practice that at Costco. I used to have to go to Costco every week in a job that I had, and it was challenging. I would sing that song, put a little love in your heart. I would keep that one in my heart going, whoo, there go the trash cans. And so at Costco, I would sit in the food court, and I would watch as people would leave, and I would say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And they don't have to hear it. We get to feel it. I give you that opportunity to maybe take a moment when you think you're bored, you have nothing to do, you're waiting in traffic, and love those people. Be the spiritual rock star that you don't need the leather pants for. Be that hero of light that you don't need the cape for. Because we can be that in every moment that we are present to. We are love. We are a part of love. and we can call out to it. We can send to it. We can just in our thoughts, in our feelings, always connected. There is nothing between us and the everything. We are a part of it. We are steeped in it and soaking in it. So I would love if maybe next week I see you and we can all talk about how did we love up and be a spiritual rock star in our own right. Now, Rebecca. Now more Rebecca.
Oh, thank you, Georgia. That was a wonderful way to start us off. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table. Loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. I give thanks for one good day. I give thanks for the knowing. And I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day.
That's a beautiful song. Is that your song? Oh, of course. Oh, of course. Wow. Wow, that's an incredible song. I think every day is one good day if we want it to be. So thank you. Thank you for opening that up in that way. Yes, today we're talking about being a rock star. George, I love it. I love it. I do not wear those kind of pants. Not sure how that would look. I'm the spandex, the full onesie at spandex. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to wear that, but I don't think so. So, well, there was a comment made back there I didn't get to hear. Obviously, a little laughter, and I don't hear. But I do. I also appreciate you bringing into our consciousness what's on our mind a lot, and the sadness from the events in Texas. And it was obviously difficult for all of us, sadness, and we want to react in a way. We want to automatically do something, but sometimes the best thing is to do nothing first. There will be things called forth, and in fact, we are so many things right now that so many times we've had these incidents of violence that we kind of are ready for The same kind of action is being called for that's been called for through all this action, and it still hasn't done anything about it. And that's sensible gun laws, universal background checks, resources in the community for mental health, because kind of basic things that the majority, I've seen some polls, 90% of the Americans believe in this. So it's not a thing hidden. I wish it wasn't so political. I wish we could just sit down and figure out what's best for kids and what's best for all of us. Churches, synagogues, mosque also. We want places to be safe for our children and for us to worship, to be in faith. And with that said, though, I think it's important to consider that we want to just be aware and be mindful of where we're at, because we don't want to take this action from anger or from fear. On Wednesday, several of us gathered for a peace vigil, and we lit candles for each of the 22 people that passed away, the transition. And some of you might go, wait, there's only 21. Well, we lit one for the shooter too. And what I know is that we all are light. And sometimes people can't see their light. It's obscured from their self. So it's almost a duty of ours, since we are aware and awakened people, to know that light for the person that can't see it themselves. And ironically, or sadly, or interestingly enough, we lit those 22 candles and we were in meditation and prayer for, 20, 25 minutes. These were brand new candles. And one of them went out. I don't know why. But people assumed it was about this one person who couldn't see his own light, that was obscured from him. So I do want to step forward and come from a place of truth within us, speak truth to power. We want to be powerful, and we want to know the truth within us first, to have it revealed, a place of oneness, of connection, of love. The Quakers have a phrase that's called proceed as way opens. Proceed as way opens. And that means, first of all, we spend some time in quiet. And then when that is revealed to us, when our truth is revealed, we act on that truth. We don't always receive guidance that says, oh, go down the street and talk to Joe and tell them that they're loved. It may not be that clear. But we can reveal the love within us, the peace that's within us, the clarity that's within us, and act from that as the way forward. Proceed as the way opens. And it's not a call to passivity, it's just a call to be within us first. As Jack Kornfield talked about, the Buddhist teacher, who talked about trust the unfolding of our grief and to hold tender, compassionate space for the full range of feelings that arise throughout the process. So we allow these feelings to unfold. We allow our action to be the truth of who we are. And believe it or not, I believe that fits right into the talk today about being a rock star. I don't mean a rock star up on stage. I mean the rock star by being the star, the light within us first, and then going out in the world with the confidence of spirit within us to act, to express this truth within us in all ways. I know that we can't do everything the world needs right now, but the world needs everything we can do. And to step into this place of expressing this star, this light within us. This month I've gone through, the overall monthly theme has been the spiritual path of healing, or feeling and healing. And I know the path of our emotions is one that reveals greater truth within us. And we started talking about, I introduced it the first week of this month. The second week we did the spiritual path as a mother, and we had 3 mothers from our community, very beautiful talks they gave, each different aspects of being a mother. And then we went to the spiritual path as a practitioner, because we know our practitioners here and in all centers for spiritual living are holding the high watch for us, holding the light for us. And then we had the spiritual path as a minister with Chris Ashley here. It was great to have her back. And she spoke of a minister, but in many ways we are all practitioners. We are all ministers because we're willing to express that. We may not be licensed to do those things, but we are practicing and we are ministering from the truth that we are. So today, the rock star. And the truth is we are on a rock, this planet Earth, that's orbiting a star. So, and yet it's so much more than that. That we can make a difference in the world by awakening to our spiritual magnificence, our spiritual awareness, our spiritual aliveness. So today in How to Be a Rock Star, I want to talk about 3 things, how we can be a rock star. First of all, we learn how to rock. We learn how to play, to be creative, to understand within us the truth that is within us, continue to open up. 2, to practice being a star. And to do that, you have to form a band. You have to practice together. And to me, this is our band right here. And online, this is our band that we practice together. And finally, we express our rock star. We perform. We play to audiences. But that's not out of any kind of artificialness. It's actually out of our authenticity that we act out in the world. So first of all, let's talk about this idea of learning how to rock. So there's an image here on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a rock star. But it's not that kind of rock star I'm talking about, though. But it's interesting. They have lights now. They've had them for a couple decades now. Lights that focus on a singer or a musician. As they move around stage, the light follows them because of laser technology and different things. But what I know is, even when we're not on stage, we're just out in the world, the light is following us because the light is always within us. So we have this rock star ability wherever we are because we know the light is always with us. And we know that that which we're feeling, that which is evolving and unfolding us is perfect, just the way it is. That we don't have to be concerned about one thing or another. So I've made a little acronym with the word rock to remember and recognize oneness and to consciously know, allow it to unfold. So remember, oneness, consciously know. And this is the pathway of being a rock star. Richard Rohr, the spiritual teacher, said, the inability or refusal to feel our deep sadness takes the form of aimless anger to face the ocean of sadness underneath it. To get to the bottom of this truth is to allow these emotions to be felt, to be moved through you. Sometimes anger, and I've had some anger this week. There's no doubt I've had some anger this week. I am angry about that we still haven't done anything about weapons of mass destruction. I'm angry that we haven't done anything about universal health care. I mean, universal health care, that too. I mean, universal background checks. I'm angry that women's choices are being threatened, choices of their own bodies. So there's things I get angry about. I'm frustrated, wondering why we're going back through this again when it's obviously these are civil and human rights that we need to protect people. But I also go deeper and recognize that it's a sadness about this country. It's a sadness about humanity. And I can grieve that. And then when I choose to take action, whatever action that is, that I'm coming from a place of love, not out of anger at a person or a group of people. And I think that's so important to be this open vessel that we are. This deeper connection, this deeper truth, and to recognize that we are all one, that all humanity is connected, and to consciously know within me the deeper truth. Not that the worldly facts necessarily. I mean, I believe in science. I'm not suggesting that, but I want to know the deeper truths of what's evolving. I believe that this center right now is on the cusp of a new growth period. Not necessarily more people. I mean, maybe it'll eventually be more people, but it's something that's happening. There's an unfolding happening. So I'm restarting the visioning team. I'm restarting the marketing team to get things going, things to get rolling, because I want to express what is naturally unfolding right now in us. And this is not something I can tell you what it is. It's just something and the board has expressed it. The practitioners expressed it. So I know it's also this communal feeling that there's something coming forth, and we can just allow it to unfold. We don't have to control it. We don't have to be in a certain way. We can just allow it. So we consciously allow that unfolding to happen. So the next part of learning to be a rock star is to practice being a star. I love this quote by, his name is Bo Rice. He's former American Idol runner-up and a really genuinely a rock star. So he said, it's not just about waking up and trying to be a star, it's practice, practice, practice. Well, obviously that, you know that of a musician, they just don't wake up to be a rock star, they practice, practice, practice. Well, it's true for us too. As I mentioned, this community is our band, our tribe, but you have other communities too. You have families you could call a community. You have other organizations you're a part of. These are all the communities that you are practicing the Spirit, you are practicing love, you are practicing unfolding and being this truth, being this love, being this peace in different ways. And just like a musician, you're not going to get it right the first time. I think of an orchestra. I always love going to a symphony and hearing them warm up, hearing them tuning their instruments. It sounds so asynchronistic. It just sounds like, and they're just warming up their instruments. They're not playing. So usually that's what we're doing in the world, right? We're just focused on how we're playing our music. How we want community to work, how we want the world to work is to be in harmony with all people. And it's necessary for us to listen. It's necessary for us to connect. It's necessary for us to know the oneness that's in all of life. To be this star. And so I have an acronym for STAR as well. STAR for me is about surrender for the S. The T is thanksgiving, great gratitude. A is accept, and R is to realize the greater truth. What I know about surrender is the one way I know that it's not my ego or not me making up something. That when I surrender and I allow Spirit to be through me, then I know I'm doing the work of Spirit and not the work of my individual self. So as a daily practice, sometimes it's an hourly practice, sometimes minute by minute, I'm continuing to surrender because I'm recognized when I'm attached, when I'm struggling, when I'm holding on, when I demand it to be a certain way and it's not that way, that I need to let go and find gratitude, find the thanksgiving. I have a video here. I don't know if you here will be able to see it, but I know you'll be able to hear it. It's a beautiful man, Caribbean descent. I think he lives in somewhere Costa Rica, I think now. His name's James. But I just love the way he talks about gratitude even when he's feeling pain. Let's see if we can get this.
You know, when I talk with elation about my gratefulness, I wouldn't want anyone to think that my life has been easy. I come to my place of gratefulness because I understand pain and loss. So it's in my understanding pain that I know that, oh my God, things can get better. Or because of the pain and what is possible, that my being in peace right now, that it doesn't have to be like this. That's what helps me to hold on to my gratefulness. That people are listening and are remembering that we can build community, no matter what we look like or where we come from. That's my gratefulness. There's so many who are not surviving spiritually, physically, emotionally. And it's all because of greed. It's all because of disconnection. So I am grateful when I can see and hold on to our humanness. That reminds me, this is temporary. And the only way to be is to continue to exist with gratitude and understanding how integral we are to the vastness of the universe, that we as humans, no matter where we come from, have a profound connection to the universe.
I just love that, Tim, talking about the profound connection to the universe, but also talking about, life's not been easy. He's experienced a lot of pain, and yet in that pain, he finds that connection. He finds that acceptance, that understanding, not knowing why somebody did something. We'll never know many things in our lives, why somebody did something that was violent or a betrayal. And we can still have compassion for them. We can still have compassion for humanity when we're willing to feel that. And out of that feeling comes the greater truth of who we are. And we can find gratitude for life and the simple things in that way. And remember that, so S stands for surrender, thanksgiving, and then it's accepting. I would also say it's about amen. In the Jewish way of saying amen, Aramaic, amen meant so be it, which is very similar to our way that we end our affirmative prayers, and so it is. As well as the African American and African version, ashe means and so it is, so be it. So there's some universality to this phrase that says, just opens up in surrender and says, okay, Spirit, this is not the experience I was seeking. I'm in deep pain. I'm in sadness. So I just need to find an understanding here. Help me to find peace. Bring peace into my heart. And in that way, we allow ourselves in that peace, then we can realize the greater truth. And for me, that's often, the greater truth is often the second response. Because the first one is often a reaction, a surprise to what happened, a sadness about that. And then when I can let that go, I can find a deeper and more truthful and more loving, more compassionate response to realize that greater truth. And finally, the third thing about becoming a rock star, we empower our rock star voice. So can you imagine like Freddie Mercury and Peter Townsend and different people that have these incredible rock star voices? It's not that voice I'm talking about. Ours is one that is sometimes not even articulated, not even audible, but is our expression of the divine, of just being. And that we need to find that power within us. I love Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, and in it he talks about a pendulum that swings back and forth. We let our emotions, because I think feelings and emotions are different. We let our feelings get too exaggerated, that pendulum swings wildly, or we let our ego or our distractions of life lead us towards unproductive energies that just sway back and forth, and instead we bring it to a level pendulum. It may not be perfectly still, but it's slower, that allows us to move forward then with being centered, being grounded, being aware and mindful. And this allows the spiritual magnificence to come forth. And being this rock star, it might be being an advocate for something or someone. It could mean just comforting a friend and listening to them. It could be some social action you take. Political stances, letters to the editor, letters to your senator and congressman. There's many kinds of action, and we always want to do it from a place of love, a place of understanding. I've been inspired this week by by several different examples. They're all people that found their voice. And first of all, it's a graduation season. So the person, if you're able to see the screen on your left, her name is Elizabeth Bonker. She was a valedictorian from Rollins College in Florida. What's interesting about her is she struggled in education because she has a non-speaking form of autism, which means literally she never speaks out loud. But she's smart, articulate in her thoughts, even if they're not spoken. So she has found a way, technology has been provided for her that she can type, and then electronic voice speaks for her. So in her commencement speech, because she was a valedictorian, she spoke about, through the electronic voice, about the importance of a life of service, of giving to everybody. And that she had set up and was already working with a nonprofit to give people who weren't able to speak a voice and funding that. And she was already doing that. And then she ended her talk by saying, God gave you a voice, use it. I was blown away by that. Wait a minute, you don't have a voice. Oh, but you do have a voice, but you are using it. So who am I to hesitate about doing something that's uncomfortable or I'm unsure of doing it when she's willing to be bold in her communicating? The next person to your right there, his name is, his last name is Morix. I think I'll find his first name here in a minute. But he's a fascinating young man, just graduated from high school, Pineview High School in Florida. And he was the first openly gay class president at his school. But I don't know if, I'm sure you've been following the news. Florida has this new school policy that you can't say gay. Silly. But you're not allowed to say it in school. So his principal called him in because he was to give, as class president, the commencement speech at his graduation. And the principal said, you know, I support you. I'm so appreciate all you've been here. And I've tried, but you can't say anything about being gay. And he was hurt, disappointed, because this man really did support him during the years. And yet he felt betrayed by him. But he slowly came to this acceptance. It goes, okay, this is what I have to do. I know that it would be, they would literally take me off the stage if I said the word gay. So he came around it in a different way. And he was already a person who was active in social issues. He's actually the plaintiff in one of the lawsuits against Florida for the Don't Say Gay policy. So he said, this is what he said in his speech. He said, if you notice, he's got really curly hair. And so underneath his hat, so he took off his hat and he showed his curly hair and he goes, I used to hate my curls. I'd spend mornings and night embarrassed of them, trying desperately to straighten this part of who I am. But the daily damage of trying to fix myself became too much to do. So while having curly hair in Florida is difficult due to the humidity, I decided to be proud of who I was and started coming to school as my authentic self. Morix said his teachers were some of the first people he went to for advice because he didn't have other curly people to talk to. And said the support he got at school helped him grow. Now he is happy. And there is something at stake, though, that there are going to be so many kids with curly hair who need a community like Pineview, and they won't have one. Instead, they'll try to fix themselves so they can exist in Florida's humid climate. He said we can be that support for the others, to advocate, and above all, it's okay not to straighten that part of yourself. So a little humorous, but touching, and so brilliant of him to come up with this way of rebelling, without telling his truth, without being confronted, because he knew confronted wouldn't work at all. There are a group of Asian Americans who, during this pandemic, because of the sharp increase in blatant hate crimes against Asian Americans, did a media campaign with real people who gave a brief description of themselves just to say, we're real, we're human. So they would put things, and their whole point of the campaign was, I'm not a virus. Of course they are not. But one man on your left-hand side says, I'm a husband, a father, I'm a child of God, and I am not a virus. And the woman on the right said, I'm a mother, I'm an engineer, I'm an advocate. I am not a virus. So be willing to be clear about who they are and to create a campaign that makes, because the problem sometimes our judgments and our fears come from out of dehumanizing a group of people or blaming people as a group, but when you get to know people. I remember that with even, my father, God rest his soul, he was racist. He was anti-Semitic. But we had friends who were black. And I go, I don't understand. You don't like blacks, but what about, Dr. Jennings and their kids? And he goes, well, they're different. I said, they're black. So for him, he was making exceptions because he knew them. So the more we are willing to get to know people, we can let go of those judgments. And I've let go of my judgment on my dad. At that time, I struggled with it. But, we open up to the greater truth of who each other is, and they're doing the best they can with the information they have. I wish they had more information, but, that's what they're doing. And the next example I had, where there were two people, Cornelius, Eddie, and Toy Derricotte, and they were both poets, and they recognized that African Americans weren't represented in the poetry community. And part of that, as they talked to other African American black poets, is they didn't feel safe in poetry circles, because when they were exploring their voice, because just like music, poetry, writing, art, the first expressions are not that they're learning still. They're still learning their voice. But it also had to be a place where they felt comfortable expressing some of their racial concerns about the world, and a safe place to do that. And they said there was not a place to do that. So Cornelius and Toy, they developed something called the Cave Canem Foundation. 25 years ago they did this. And it's been an amazing, brought forth so many great poets, award-winning poets. One, his name is Nicky Finney, and he wrote a book called The Ringing Ear. And he said, there's nothing like being seen by the eyes of those who, without explanation, understand why you do what you do when you do it. There's nothing like having to decode or apologize for the sweet pleasure of a word or phrase that will not let loose of your ear. He called it a watering hole, this Cave Canem. So they went together, like I said, 25 years of this, award-winning poets, and they found their place. And once they found their place, once they found their voice, they could go out in the world and express it to anybody. It wasn't like the only place they could do it, because to become award winner, they would have to publish and express themselves, but this gave them the starting point. And I hope this community and other communities you belong to can be that place where you can explore your humanity, your divinity. I hope that your family has been that too, but for many people, your family is not that place. It's a safe place to explore all aspects of yourself. So that's why I'm happy we have this community, and there are other communities where it's a safe place to be who you are and be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to express yourself so we can go forward and be centered in our power, that we can speak truth to power. And we can go forward an unfolding spiritual magnificence. It's not like one day you are awakened, one day you are spiritually magnificent. You are always those things, but it's always unfolding too. Just like a musician whose music changes from time to time, they're writing new music, they're creating new things, and it allows them to be a greater expression of the divine. So it is with us, that we allow Spirit to be deeply within us, that we become aware of it, that we recognize the oneness, consciously know, we surrender, we're grateful, we accept, and we realize this greater truth. And then we can all be rock stars, right? So I'm going to have Rebecca come up with another song, and she's going to be here, so I'm going to set this up and set her up with a microphone right here. And I think this is a great song to end the talk with, about being the light of the world.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out sometimes. Can you all hear me? Oh, good. A few years ago, you may recognize the name Jamie Lula.
He was just here last week.
I know, I saw that, and he's been here a few times, I think. There's a song of his that I love, so I'm gonna sing. I recorded it a few years ago with his permission, and it was like, oh, great. So I get to sing it for you today. You're not bad, you're not selfish, you're not ugly, you're not broken or damaged or dysfunctional, no. You're not the things you tell yourself you are, not the opinions of others or old scars. Because you are the light of the world. Yes, you are the light of the world. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. La 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 la. La 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 la. You're not stupid, lazy. You're not deaf, too thin. You're not a big mouth or crybaby, no. You're not a bully or original sin. You're not the things you tell yourself you are, not the opinions of others or old scars. Because you are the light of the world. Yes, you are. unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Sing it with me. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Ooh, la da 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 da. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh. So in this moment, I know the truth of who I am. I am the light of the world. And I know the truth of each of you, that you are the light of the world. I know in this moment that you are protected by love, that as a community we unfold in perfect and beautiful ways, and that wonderful things are happening through each of us, each and every day. And for this I'm grateful now and always, and so it is. Now's the time in our service we invite you to be part of the law of circulation by giving. We know that which you give continually circulates in your life in giving and receiving, whether of time, talent, and treasure. So we invite you to participate. There's on the screen in front of you, there is a list of ways to donate, including online or through texting or here in person. If you so choose to, you could bring that in closer if you want to. If you so choose to be a part of physically giving, there's a basket out front and one in the back. You're welcome to participate in that or in ways. We appreciate all that you give of your time, talents, and treasures. So we take to our heart that which we're giving today, whether it be one of compassion and love and peace or a financial contribution. And we say this simple affirmation: divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I circulate. Sorry, I can't read here. Let's try it again. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is also the time in our service when we like to bless you. Particularly, this is a day that we bless you with the sun shining and the gratefulness of all life that we have today. We also like to acknowledge anybody who might be here for the first time, either online, you can put it in the chat, or here in person. Is anybody here for the first time? First time in a long time, we'll take that. Please know that we embrace all faiths, cultures, and orientations, and we're grateful to have anybody here as a guest, anybody and everybody. So we raise our hands with the blessing that I need to put on the screen here. We bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Thank you, thank you. Feel free to stay for prayer with a practitioner if you so want to, if you're seeking that. We also have prayer requests in the lobby of the sanctuary that you're welcome to fill out, or online prayer requests, because we want you to know that we're here for you in all ways. We're grateful to have you present here with us today. And any way that we can support you, we have resources that we either have available or we can refer them to you. So please know that we are available and we're here for you. Finally, let's do the community affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I'm protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is. And now for our closing song. And thank you, Rebecca, for your music today. It's been beautiful.
Well, it's always great to be here. Thanks. You're welcome. All right. We're going to start our day now, energetically. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I know you know this. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Now joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Start my day.
So as we go forth, we continue our day with love, peace, and joy, and we go be rock stars, right? All right, have a great Sunday.